Smartphone sales passed the 1 billion mark in 2014, and lots of new models were on display at Barcelona's Mobile World Congress, many of which are now available in Europe. When it comes to Android, Samsung, the market leader, is facing hot competition from HTC, Lenovo and Huawei. The Samsung Galaxy S6 is in direct competition with the HTC One M9, both priced at around €700.
They both tend to come out pretty much exactly the same time of the year. The various devices over the years have always been in competition with one another. And this year I think the competition is going to be hotter than ever, because Samsung, which has traditionally been in the controlling position, but last year a lot of people recognised the HTC One M8, the M9's predecessor, as the superior device. And now obviously Samsung wants to make up that ground.
Both the S6 and the S6 Edge come with 5.1 Quad HD and Android 5.0 Lollipop. They're set up for wireless charging and have a 16 megapixel rear-facing camera and a 5 megapixel front camera.
The main thing that you'll notice as soon as you pick it up is that Samsung's made it from glass and aluminium instead of plastic, which has traditionally been a bit of a sticking point for some reviewers when they've been looking at the Samsung device. And it feels very premium. It's got an incredible screen, 2K resolution screen, which means you can't see any of the pixels at all, no matter how close you get to it.
The new HTC One M9 has a dual-tone finish and mirrored sides. It also has a new Snapdragon 810 processor, 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of built-in storage. It has a 20 megapixel camera and an improved front camera for optimum selfies.
HTC stuck with a formula that it knows works. It's adapted one thing, which is the camera. It came in on the M8 it came in for a bit of criticism because they adopted a technology they called ultra pixel, which is basically just bigger pixels in a rear camera but less resolution. So a 4 megapixel camera was going up on the HTC was going up against 16 megapixel cameras on devices like the Samsung Galaxy S5. This time they've put a 21 megapixel camera in there. They've taken part in the megapixel race, which is never necessarily a smart thing, but it has resulted in a better camera than what the HTC One M8 had.
But between the two big competitors, the Motorola Nexus 6 could be the big winner. It's cheaper, around €500, and has a larger screen than the HTC. The Nexus 6 is powered by Snapdragon 805, the jewel in Qualcomm's 32-bit crown. It has a modest 30 megapixel camera capable of taking 4K videos. Apple wasn't at Barcelona, but has recently launched an Apple Watch with 18-hour battery life. The solid gold version will retail for around €10,000, although the basic model will only be $350. But it only works with an Apple smartphone.
You could certainly argue that the Apple Watch is going to make people look at Apple devices, at iPhones, more closely again. Not that they need that many more people to, because they're ludicrously popular already. But I don't think that people are going to say, right, I can either choose a smartwatch or a smartphone. It's more likely they'll be thinking of buying both.
Apple sold nearly 75 million units in the last quarter of 2014, elevating it to the #1 spot in the global smartphone market. But its operating system has still only got 15% of the market, compared to more than 80% for Android.